There's a lot of unknowns before you start a trip. There's a lot of unknowns. You spend 4 or 5 days on a bike and you're doing 500 to 600 to 800 miles a day. There's times where I feel like I can't throw my leg over that bike. You fire it up and your hand's so tired and cold that you can barely pull in the clutch, and you get it out of first gear and barely get it into second, and kind of get her up to speed. And something hits you, that sun maybe hits you on your back, you know, and that kind of warms you up a little bit. You don't feel any of that pain anymore. It could be 5 minutes and it has been erased. I grew up in a family that does a lot for the community. My dad was a plumber electrician, and he did a lot for everybody in town as far as not charging the old ladies that couldn't afford to get work done. And when I was a kid, I grew up with all these stories. First time my mom ever met my grandpa, her father, she was handed out the window by the nurse, and he was on the saddle and he brought her into his arms. They were raised through the 20s and 30s, which of course the 30s was the Depression and the Dust Bowl in Kansas. If you survived the Dust Bowl, it made a hard individual. Well, welcome to the cabin. This thing is, oh, what is this? I think it's 12 by 20 or something like that. 240 square feet. It's bigger than a jail cell. Here's your Harley man right here. It's family. This is something my dad always kept in his garage. It came from my dad. He bought this in the 70s. He worked his butt off to pay for this. And yeah, I had a pretty bad spill on a motorcycle with a cop and a doctor and a preacher man standing over me. I woke up and they said I wasn't supposed to be alive, and there wasn't a scratch on this jacket. Something I'll go with me until, I don't know, I guess one of my nephews starts riding and gets big enough to wear one of these. This went on a lot of adventures with him, and I keep taking it with me to this day, so. My dad, he delivered the passion of motorcycles to me just by growing up with it. Before I ever got to grip a handlebar for myself, I got to ride on the back of his motorcycle. All his Harley buddies, they were wild characters. You know, Sonny Martin is a wild man. I was fascinated with that culture. As a 3-year-old, I had a sawhorse, and I had a construction hat that I put on and made some safety goggles and Dad's work gloves, and that's how I watched Chips every week. Everything that led me to who I am and where I am comes from my family. Everything that's come my way and all the encouragement, they're all with me, and knowing that I'm carrying on the torch for them. You know, I go onto these road trips always concerned. Not in a bad way, but I know I'm getting into something. People think, you know, I can't do that. You know, that's not in me. Yeah, it is. It's in all of us. And that's what you learn at the end of that motorcycle trip, that I could do it, and I did do it. One more thing I do want to show you guys. Double gobble, as my dad always called it. When he passed in 2012, of course, we went through his Harley bags and just wanted to see what was in there, and one of these was in there, and it was actually unopened. And when we put him to rest 4 days later, we loaded him up and said, Nate, you know, this is up to you. How do you want to do it? I said, well, you can lead us with your car, but we're going to put all the bikes right behind you and put the hearse behind that, and so Dad can smell all that Harley exhaust. When we got to the cemetery, of course, we all the motorcycles let them in, and it was a special night. I do this knowing that I'm going to be that much more connected, which you are on a motorcycle. It just becomes all so tactile. The wind, mist, fog, heat, cold, rain, sleet, and 125 degrees in the middle of the Mojave where you feel like your tires are going to melt off.
You like that? God,
no, I don't like that at all. I don't like to take the biggest bite out of that apple of life. I don't like that at all. That's no fun. Who wants to do that? Oh, that's good. But for Dad. Like a lot of things in life, especially as you get older, it's those little things. And it never was a destination for me. It was always the journey. To me, the destination is going to be that Pinewood box, you know, and I'm not ready for that destination. You know, I just want to point it away from home and see where it takes me.